So today we are playing more of Ye Olde Spider, which is a medieval superhero fantasy kind of mashup, and we'll do all that right after the intro. Hi folks, and welcome to Sharp Mountain Games. Here we talk about group role-playing games, solo role-playing games, and there are plenty of actual plays in the playlist. You can check out our print and PDF products at Amazon, Lulu, Drive-Thru, and Roll20, and they're all linked below. Let's get started, and we're glad you're here. So today we're finishing up Ye Olde Spider and his Enchanted Companions. I really think this is going to be the finale here today. I mean, unless things run really, really long, in which case we'll do another episode. But I kind of think we're going to wrap it up today. And let's introduce our players. Ye Olde Spider, Bright Star, who is a fire-based superhero, and the Ice Duke, who is an ice superhero. So these are kind of archetypes that may be familiar to you, and I'm going to give you the recap in just a moment. Just let me tell you about the system we're using. We're using Streamlined Superheroes, which is my own system, and there's 4 attributes. You roll a d20 and add the attribute, but then there's an effect die. So it's more than just damage. The effect die also takes into account some other abstract things, like maybe trying to defuse a bomb or something like that. And it's not brand new news for this video by any means, but the exciting news is Streamlined Superheroes. I finally got it available on Drive-Thru, and I have the link below. And I also have 2 other links below. My friend Solo Spelunking was kind enough to review it, so you could check out his review and you can see, whether you'd like it or not, whether it's something you'd want to bring to your table. And then also Mage Hammer has a review where he made, not really a review, but he made some characters using the character creation rules and throwing in a little bit of randomness. And that's a lot of fun too. So I have those links below and you can check them out. And in any event, check out their channels. They're really good. And I also have some links below for other medieval superhero kind of games. So if you enjoy this video and you have a good time with it here today, certainly give those a look when you get a moment. So let's give you the quick recap. And I've got my notebook here with the recap in it, because when I play these, then later I go and I record them for posterity in my notebook, so I have them as a record. And I would advise you, if you're doing this solo play, it's a good idea to record your stuff, because what you can do later is then you have adventures all set, all ready to go for group play. So if you get in a situation where, you need an adventure really quickly, you just look through here, find one that you really liked or you think your players would like, and you're good to go. And I have done that. I've used a few of them. So our heroes were asking around about these jewel thieves, because there was some jewel thefts that kind of brought them all together. They didn't know about it. And they found out that these Starconium jewels had been purchased, and Valterian coin and currency was being used to purchase them. The Valterians had an embassy in town and a small farm outside of town that they recently bought. And the spider asked his friend, the magician Stephen, who has a magic shop, and found out that Starconium can be used for mind control. So they got themselves out to the barn, and the spider, he snuck up and webbed the Doombot guard, or it was like, they're like knights. They look like knights. But inside there was another man, and he was wearing the armor, but he had a circlet around his forehead with the Starconium jewel, and was using it to control a very large creature that had burrowed up out of the ground. Now, they defeated the creature, so we're going to put him aside. And actually, they didn't have to totally defeat the creature. What they did was, once they removed the circlet, the creature went back to ground and burrowed into the ground, I guess, so they know that he was using that to control them. So the lackey was forced to reveal that Doom Knight, who is at the Valterian embassy there, who is the ruler of Valteria, hopes to control a dragon using the Starconium. And they're beginning to take the man into town, and they need just a little bit more information from him. So they're taking him into town. Bright Star is able to fly. The Ice Duke makes like these ice slides, and they're up in the air, in fact, with this one. And the spider has this man. So he was wearing the armor, the Doom-like armor, but was a man actually inside of it. And Spider has him all webbed up, and he didn't want to give any information. So Spider says, you need to give us more information. Something dangerous is going on here, and it could even affect you. And he says, I cannot reveal what the master said. So Spider's going to kind of, he wouldn't actually do it, but he's going to kind of dangle him off the edge of the ice slide. He says, you know, boy, it's a long way down there to the ground. So what's his charisma? Does he have any special charisma? No, his charisma is 0. That just means he has no bonus. 5. Okay, so he is not very charismatic in doing this to try and get him to reveal it. So he dangles him a little bit and even kind of lets loose on the webbing a little bit. And that shakes the man loose. I don't even think we need a roll for that. I know I myself, I would be very scared in that situation. So he shakes the man loose a little bit, and the man says, oh, he's sending something with the Starcodium. He's sending it outside of town to where the dragon is. Now, let's see if Brightstar sees anything at this point. So I'd say that's her intelligence. She has a +2. 9 + 2 is 11. So anything greater than a 10 is always a success in this system. You may say, well, how do things get harder? Well, we can use advantage and disadvantage dice to do that, where you roll and take the lower if you want to make it really hard, or roll and take the higher if you want to make it easier. She sees something almost like a firework heading outside of town, not the Katy Perry firework. So they have to make a decision. And Ice Duke says, well, what do we do? Are we taking this guy back to town? Or are we chasing after that thing? And Brightstar says, we have to go after that thing, definitely, because that seems more dangerous. And Spider says, yeah, I can web this guy to a tree. We'll come back and get him later. No, he says, don't do that to me. Spider says, don't worry, we'll put you up high enough. That way the bears won't get you, mostly. So they find a tree. I have these little blocks that I glued together, and they tie Joseph up to the tree. So he's going to have a hard time getting down, but he should be safe mostly from bears. But I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll roll for that later to see if a bear gets him. So they have to pursue this. And I just have this, I don't know, this plastic thing. I think something came in it, a little toy at one time. And it is that firework, and it is heading outside of town up to the mountains outside Sharp Mountain City. So what I have here now, and I'm kind of thinking about the scene in the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve when he has to chase the nuclear bomb. I really like that because, you know, he had to kind of solve the problems without necessarily beating somebody up. That wasn't the only resolution. So they see this thing going out there. And the Brightstar pulls on the steam, and Ice Duke, you know, pulls on the ice and really tries to make these ice slides as fast as he can. And Spider he's on this ice slide with the Ice Duke, so he is following along. So this is kind of a skill challenge. So they have got to overcome 30 hit points in 5 rounds. And here's where I think the effect dice work, because it can't just be, roll and add. There has to be some description about what they're trying to do. So Brightstar is pouring on the steam. I think she's going to use her flight to try to catch up to it and maybe start to try and, you know, run a circle around it to see if she can't slow it down. Maybe she's afraid to blast it right away. So for her, that's a D12. So we'll have ladies first. She's going to be the yellow dice. Spider's going to be the blue dice. No, Ice is going to be the blue dice, and Spider will be the black, since he's kind of like a black suit, Ye Olde Spider. Because I got to keep track of initiative and who goes, and otherwise I get confused. So she's using her D12 here, and this is the first round. So how does she do? She gets a 15, which is a success, for 5. So she is circling around this, trying to use the heat maybe to disrupt the air a bit. And I'm going to make a note here that that's 5 for success. Okay, so she's gone. Now let's see what the Ice Duke is going to try to do. He's already making his ice slides. I think what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to pour on the ice slides. And the reason he's going to do that is he's going to try and give the Spider extra success. So his points here are not necessarily going to count towards defeating it, but he's trying to get the Spider in some area. So maybe Spider can try to start to ensnare this or something. All right, so let's see how we do here. And his ice slides are a D12. 8, let's see, dexterity, or would that be more strength? I think it was dexterity. So he succeeds on that. So he doesn't do any damage in this case. And he tells Spider, he says, okay, it's all up to you. So the good thing is now Spider is going to have advantage on this, and he's trying to use his ensnare, which is a D10, to try to really slow this thing down. 19, so we take the better roll for 9. Okay, so we're up to 14 of 30. Maybe I should have made this harder. But that's our first round. So we have 4 more rounds to go here, and we'll see what happens. We have to hope we get that 30 points. But again, we have to describe what we're doing. All right, so Spidey is holding on us, and he says, to Bright Star, I have it. You should be able to get a good, clear shot at it. So she is going to use her Fire Blast here for D10. Because I think at this point, the points have to come from damage to try and... They're trying to bring this thing down before it can get to the dragon's cave. Let's see if she's able to do it. 7, no. Oh, no, wait. Her dexterity is 3, so it's a ranged attack, so that's good. So 8 more points of damage. That takes us up to 22. We might do this in 2 rounds. Might be too quick. Okay. And the Ice Duke says, well, he's going to do the Ice Blast. That's only a D8 for him, or it is a D8 for him. That's a dexterity roll. 11 is good. 6 points of damage. Now, let's see. Spider is going to try to jump on top of this and maybe rip it open. Let's see if he can do that. So I would say the jumping is a strength roll, so he gets +2, and his super strength is D8. Okay, now he's trying to do 2 things at once here. So I think 2 things at once would definitely be disadvantage. Oh, look at that. A 16 and a 12. They both succeed. Let's see what the D8 does. 2. That's good enough. We did this in 2 rounds. Like I said, maybe I should have made it harder. We'll do that next time. We'll make it harder next time. Sometimes they can have an easy one. So he rips open this thing, the Starconium, and the Starconium gems are in there, and they bring it to ground well before the mountains, well before it would get anywhere near the dragon. Because if it got near the dragon and it exploded, it could be a problem. Now, I think we have to see, we're going to make a decision, is this thing, we're going to ask an oracle question here. So this is where in solo game, occasionally you want to put things in there, to keep yourself interested. Is that thing liable to blow up? So let's see when, the spider is monkeying with it. So this is my yes, no, but dice. Yes, but. Okay, so let's see what that means. Yes, that thing's going to explode. And I'm going to say the but is that they know that the spider, even without a roll, knows. He says, this thing's going to blow. So Spider he's going to grab the Starconium and try to get out of there. Okay, so let's see how he does. So he's grabbing and trying to leap. So that would be a dexterity, I think. And maybe we'll give him his super strength for doing that. So the Spider makes it, and it's a 7. So I would say with the 7, that means he got the Starconium out of there. 6 or greater on any of the effect dice is like a special success for non-combat. If it's combat, you just get that extra damage. Okay, so I took care of him first. Okay, so we'll do our Ice Fella, our Ice Duke with his ice slides here. Does he get out of the way? 7, and no, he is not getting out of the way. So his effect dice doesn't matter. So he is going to take some damage. We'll do that in a second. And let us see, using her flight, if Bright Star can get out of the way. No, neither of them get out of the way. So there is this explosion. And I'm going to say that that's going to be a D10 damage. So I better make some little notes here. And, I got to keep track of the hit points here. So that bomb explodes. I wasn't planning it on it, but the dice said that it explodes. So Ice Duke takes 9. Ooh. Now, he does have some armor because of his ice form, and she does as well. She has some protection from the fire, but let's see if it's enough. I got a 6 there. I don't even know if that one bounced around in the thing there, but they both take a blast from this. And of course, Spider, oh, friends, are you okay? Oh, I don't know. Quite a blast, but did you get those jewels there so that they can't cause any harm? And the Spider says, yes. He said, but here's the problem. I think we have to confront that Doom Knight, and I think we have to do it quickly. Who knows what else he has planned. We have to get, just like that Joseph had the circlet, we got to get back to town. So they are going to pour on the speed back to town. And on the way they kind of discuss, they're saying, yeah, but this is a foreign dignitary here. Bright Star says, she's maybe the voice of reason. Isn't that going to be a problem there? And Spider says, well, maybe we'll just, but we don't intend to kill him or anything, but we've got to get that circlet from him. And then who's he going to tell about this circlet? I mean, he can claim he was accosted, but he can't tell anybody what he was actually up to because that would give away the story. So they pour it on to town, and I am going to use this as the roof of the Valterian embassy. And they're also talking about whether they should try perhaps to sneak up or not to sneak up. I think maybe they should try that, to try and get the lowdown on what's going on. So maybe there's an alleyway across the street or something where they can kind of duck down. Does that look like an alley? So they duck down this alley. They don't go right in there. And Spider says, let me crawl ahead quietly and see what I can do. So, and let me get my dice in the right order here. There we go. Because like I said, I get I mess up my initiative all the time, folks, and I don't want to do that. So he is going to try and use his wall crawling, which is a D12. 5. No chance of success there. So he is trying to crawl over here, but he is seen. And there is somebody up on the roof. Somebody we have not seen before. So there is a man also armored, similarly to the other ones. He has almost armor like a knight, and he has a circle around him and guarding him are 2 other of the... Now, they don't know if these ones are automatons. I guess I really shouldn't say robot because this is medieval. If they're automatons or if there's something else. But he noticed, he says, someone's down there. And Spider can see the circlet. And there's a little card so you can see Doom Knight a little bit better. No reference to any copyrighted characters. It's totally coincidental there, folks. And please don't sue me. I don't make any money on all this. So the battle is going to begin. If you didn't get surprised, you don't get the surprise round. So we are just going to go in order. He is going to be very interested in that circlet, I believe. But he also knows that, boy, these guys are going to be a problem. So he's, I think, going to try and go for to ensnare one of the guards there. And a 3, I don't even need to roll the effect dice. He shoots and he misses. And this guy kind of laughs. He says, ha, one little spider on the wall is no threat to me. Now, I use the, what my friend Solo Spelunking set calls I go, you go. So spider went. So now what we have to do is deal with, is he going to get hit by that guard? So that guard has like a wand of magic missiles or some kind of wand here. And does he hit our spider? Yes, he hits our spider for 6 points. And they did not have any time to rest, so they did not get their hit points back. You know how in the comic books, the they get the snot beaten out of them in the first act, but then, you know, they rest up and they're okay by the end of the comic book to take the villain again. So that's kind of how I do the healing. It's a little more fantastical. So Bright Star and Ice Duke see this. We're coming to help you, friend. So they fly into action. Ice Duke is going to go first. He is going to try and just do an ice blast on the big guy there. Oops, I had it the other way, but that's okay. We can do Ice Duke first. And his ice blast is a D8. Let's see how we do on that. 7 plus 2 is 9. He misses. Oh, this might not end well. We'll have to see what happens. And he is going to send 2 blasts. He has that same kind of wand of magic missiles or magic missile kind of wand thing, but he gets 2. So 10 on 10. Ooh, this is not good. So I have to see if the second one connects. 10, or no, the second one does not for the 4. So the first one connected and takes him down to 11 HP. All right, now she's got to go, and she says, sorry, boys, let's try. So she is going to try to weaken this fella here. And I think she's going to go after let's have her go after the thing on the end there. And I'll just roll the damage for the other. I'll roll everything at once. So she is using her Fire Blast, which is a D10. That one didn't go. The one didn't go down the chute, but it did fall. I'm going to count it. All right. So she hits for 6 points of damage on the guy on the end. And did he hit? I got to peek over because I can't see. Oh, good. I got a 1. He did not hit. So Spider says, I think it's that circlet. That's the main thing. So he's going to go after the circlet that's on his brow there. And I'm going to assume that they stashed the jewels somewhere else, that they did not bring them into the fight here, the Starconium jewels. So that's a called shot. So called shot means it's made at disadvantage. And he's using his webbing, which is a D10. So I like to roll them all at once. 1, 2, 3, let's see. Nope, we got to take the lower, the 4. So he tries to get that circlet off of his brow, but is not able to make the shot. So I really think that's going to turn his attention to the spider there. So he gets 2 shots. 7 and 12, and with the bonus he hits. This may not be good. 6 and 9 is 15. Our spider falls and is out of the picture for this round, or for this thing. I'm going to put his dice, well, maybe put him next to him so you can see. He is in trouble. So Ice Duke says, he was going for the circlet. That's the important thing. Nothing else really matters here. So he's going to use his Ice Blast to try and, ice up the circlet and pull it towards himself. That's a D8. Again, called shot. Look at that. 10 and 10, and he gets a 5. Now the circlet, it takes 6 points to do this. So he pries it loose from Doom Knight's forehead there, but not quite. It's still hanging on. It's like when you're trying to take the cover off something and there's that one last screw you forgot about. That's what happened there. Now I have to see if he gets hit. Now Doom Knight already went, but the lackeys didn't. So we'll have the one lackey go. Oh, he does hit him, but only 2. So he gets zapped a little bit, and Ice Duke kind of laughs. Oh, is that the best you got? All right, so it's up to Bright Star if we're going to do it this round. Again, she's going to do that called shot. So he is pulling it loose. So what she's going to do is I think she's going to use her Fire Blast and try and go like a really fine point thing. Like maybe she can melt, part of the circlet, like a ring or something that would snap. So that's a called shot. And let's see, her Fire Blast is D10. I have all their cards right here so I can see it. And let's see how they do. Now, the green dice was already in there. So that's disadvantage. No, she misses. Because even with her dexterity of 3, that's only a 9. And that means, okay, so Ice Duke is still in the mix. Bright Star is still in the mix. But so are the, this guy didn't get to fire yet. Does he hit her? No, he doesn't. So she is flying and is able to weave out of the way. And when you play by yourself, you have to make those little noises. Just like Bob Ross would say when he's making the trees or the whoosh of the wave. You got to do that. So he is going to try one more time. He's saying, we got to get that circlet and get out of here. So 18 and 4 called shot misses. Does he get hit? This may not be pretty. 11 and 3. Okay, so good. He is still in the picture. We had 2 shots there. So he is down to 6 HP. Spider's out. He says, it's up to you, Angel. So she is going to try, and let's see. Her, again, she's using that Fire Blast, but it's a called shot. It's a disadvantage. This is real fine work. No, we have to take the 5, and we're going to get a shot on her. And I'm going to just have them each get 1 shot here. I think it's too much with everything else. And I also think these guys would get in, the bad guys would get in each other's way. So does she get hit? Yes, but for 2. Now, you might see that 20. I don't do criticals. Criticals are nice against the opponents, but they cut both ways. I know some people say, well, don't have them for the player characters. I don't know about that. So Ice Duke is going to try one more time. He says, come on, we got to see what we can do here. He's using his Ice Blast of D8. Again, at disadvantage. 19 and 14 and 3. He pries it loose. Now, does he get a hit here? No, because look at that. That's a 2. So he does not get hit. So he's going to call. He say, get the spider and we've got to get out of here. You know, we don't have to. We don't want to kill these people anyway. We just want to get that circlet out. So I'm going to have her make a roll. Let's see if she can pick up the, and we're going to use her flight, which is D12. 14 is good, and 6 or better. Remember, that's something special. So she not only scoops up the spider, she doesn't burn him. On the way out, she also scoops up the jewels. Now, she is flying, and he is using his ice slide here. So here's what I'm going to say. I think I'm going to give these guys a parting shot, but I'm going to let both of my player characters make a roll to see if they can avoid it. So that'll be a dexterity roll. He's using his ice slides. We'll do our Ice Duke first. 18 and 5. It's not exceptional, but he zings out of the way of that magic missile bolt. And let's see how she does. Is that a 6 or a 9? That's a 6. So even with the dexterity, she is going to take a zap. How much a zap is she going to take? 7. I didn't need to roll for that. So she takes 7. So she's down a little bit. But Doom Knight was up on the roof of the Valterian embassy. That's what this box represents. Maybe I should have said that earlier. So there's not going to be time for them. They don't have any flight powers or anything. So they are not going to be able to get down and chase our superheroes. He just stands there and shakes his fist at the sky. Next time I will have you. So they get away and they go back and they retreat and they go in the alley. You know, they're somewhere in the center of town. I'm not going to do a whole lot of walls here just to make the center of town. Something like that. But they talk about things. And Spider says, Well, he says to Bright Star, he says, you seem to know a lot about the gems. Would you be able to, if I'm going to entrust you with the gems, you might be able to find out, who owns these gems, and we can get them returned to the rightful owners because, we can't hold them. And besides, Ice Duke says, yeah, and we can't sell them either because it would look put a lot of suspicion on us. Ice Duke says, too, it's a good thing we have these costumed identities. Otherwise, if you're attacking the Valterian embassy, they might come after you or something. Oh, and they also go back and they find the Joseph character. They do take, just so you know, they take him from the tree and they eventually remand him into custody. I like the blue ones for the town guard, like the blue for the police officers. So they do take care of him. And, they're talking, and the Ice Duke says, I have my father's the Duke. He said, but I certainly have access to some money. He said, I might be able to finance maybe a headquarters and some secret monetary transactions, a place where we could all meet, a little like a lair or a headquarters. And he says to Spider, he says, now, you know something about alchemy, don't you? I think you had said something about that. He said, I might be able to set up a little alchemy lab. So we could use that for crime fighting and detection of taking care of evidence. And the Spider says, yes. He said, but if we're going to do all that, we have to trust each other. So he's the first one. He takes off his mask and reveals himself to be Parker Peterson. And they do the same. So they are able to, I don't have a flip side to these tokens here, maybe next time. So they reveal and they talk about their secret identities here, her being Angel Jones and him being Roberte Kennard. He says, oh, this is wonderful. He said, because, we'll need to be able to meet occasionally, even outside of our costumed identities, the Spider says, because we'll need to be able to contact each other, as we move forward and fight the crime and keep Sharp Mountain City safe. And Bright Star says, now she's Angel in her form. She says, yes, and I know we'll be amazing friends. So that's where we are going to end it for today. I hope you had a good time. A little bit shorter episode, about a half an hour, but that's okay because we wanted to wrap everything up and wrap it up with a quick punchy ending here. So I hope to see you again soon. Again, the system is Streamlined Superheroes. The link's below if you're interested. If not, that's certainly fine. That's fine. I just hope you had a good time. And I hope especially you do some solo role playing or some group role playing sometime real soon. Have a good time. We'll see you next time.